Trick-a-bot-track.
Where's my phone so I can double check? But I think it is.
No, it is Rockaway. It's Rockaway Beach and then Bobby Crane. Yeah.
So this is a concept album, and this is the in film. I think it's really funny when directors cut away to the fourth perspective, you're locked into the narrative. And it seems like it's the entire world, this divorce or something that's happening. And then you'll just see a guy, some neighbor looking in through the window, going what? And that's this moment on this album, where there's a seagull at Rockaway Beach, right before the epic battle happens that destroys New York.
You know what, I forgot it, because it's called Rockaway Beach. We always had the intention of going to Rockaway Beach and recording beach sounds,
and then we just got
never
them.
did.
We
never did.
It's a little
sorry,
too much.
Yeah,
it's a little too much. When we have a
we'll do a big remix of the album.
Or when we do it as the
in
live
40 years,
musical.
Some engineer
But I
AI
tried that. I have a Tascam, and I remember doing an album where I tried to do a bunch of Foley noise. I'm not as good at you as mixing noise, but I found it to be it's difficult and fruitful, and you'd go there and there'd be some plowing sand.
Because there's a little bit of white noise on the last song of this album.
Right.
And it's if it's just white noise, it's very hard to have it be noticeable. Unless it's drowning out everything.
Right, yeah. Exactly, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So it's I think we err on the side on that track of being a little subtle, whatever.
But yeah, it's a really great
but back to
groove.
Yeah. So we can talk about the recording. So
I have been playing ukulele for my whole life. Since the moment I had a ukulele when I got to New York when I was 18 and Beirut was really big. So I got the ukulele and I have been playing that. But it's such a simple little riff, I never turned it into a song. And this is when
it's questionable if we truly made it into a song.
No, we didn't.
Jam.
I think because I was at a point in my life where I was done questioning if things were really good or bad, at least at the initial stage. Yeah. And I was going it's fun. Let's put it on. And it's just that little groove.
Yeah. We recorded your ukulele, and then I think I just went ham on it.
You went ham on it.
I wrote a bass line.
Several different synths. Yeah, you wrote a bass line.
There's keyboards. There's crazy guitars and stuff.
Right.
And it's like a 4 or 5 minute
it's like a 9 minute
jam. And we took our favorite portion and we just faded it in and out.
And then I think I picked
which I think works really well.
It works really well, and I picked the portion where I could bullshit the narrative, where there was
a little sci-fi.
There was a there's a synthy fuzz, and that's the robot, and then there's a screechy one, and that's the crane, and I'm so there's a seagull chilling on the beach, and then off in the distance this giant battle starts.
If there's ever a music video,
exactly. We'll intro Robot v. Crane.
It'll be a seagull hanging out while Godzilla monsters attacking each other in
the robot and the crane.
Yeah.
The giant crane.
But it's a fun one. But that's pretty much all there is to say about that.
That's it, which is why we're doubling this into
Robot v. Crane. That robot and that crane.
Yeah, which come in right there. So this is one that's very it just comes to you. And this is actually one I had a while ago.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, just that. But I had the melody, and I had the end. The end was actually the original chorus. The Here I Go Again, chasing you, driving all around looking for proof. But when the narrative came into it, I just bumped that back, and then it became this confessional moment. But this song, well, first of all, it's a classic. It's one of my classic breakup songs. My big thing, and I'm kind of maturing, but my big thing is writing great breakup songs. I love them. I love that moment where the guy turns and wistfully looks at the sky and laments his sadness, and so
why me?
Yeah. So then I remember, because I if you're not in a rhythm, you're a bit of a procrastinator. So I came in and Sam was kind of "What are we doing today?" And I was I need a moment to figure out this song, and figure out where I'm putting everything, and so I just kind of banged it out, and then
Yeah,
I
of
wrote all the
course.
lyrics, but we do a dual vocal thing to match.
Yeah,
the
you
dual
wrote all
vocal
the lyrics.
thing on
I think I
Lucky
had
Cycle.
some very slight input.
You did.
onto
You had some
the-
suggestions about, and I had
You
alternate
were
lines
like,
for
should
you.
we change searching for proof?
Yeah.
And you had a bunch of alternates, and I was like, the proof one, that's the best
yeah. You
one.
were like, that's when he's spying.
That's
and
when
stuff.
he's
It's
spying
like
and stuff. Yeah,
visceral.
yeah. Search it, and it's like, was it real? Was any
Yeah,
of this real? Was
yeah,
this
exactly.
relationship real? Was this crazy fight real?
Exactly. But on to the crazy fight.
Yeah.
This is it's a combination of a couple different ideas. It's like, I definitely love the film Before the Rain. And then I think I had, a year before, I had read the beginning of Wild Cards, which had this story about this guy with PTSD who ends up kind of doing a suicidal end to his career, if you will. Same with this journalist who goes to get the good photo to the detriment of his life. To the detriment of his life. That's what we call killing people. To the detriment of your life.
Yeah.
And, but, and as
Many
he's
euphemisms can happen.
dying, he thinks of the person that he loved the most back when he was a kid or a teenager, a young 20-year-old. Because he's like 50. This is, the opening lyric, "Am I past my prime?" And I was kind of feeling that way. I was getting older. And I was getting into basketball, and I was going like, "Oh Jesus! All these young
I like to
millionaires
think
are."
of us as two young, spry chaps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Getting together and forming a band, and I realized people do that a decade before you get to where we are.
Yeah.
usually.
That's the key, is having a good group of guys.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I think we live in a world. I think we live in the generation of late bloomers, where you're allowed to be a late bloomer and still be great.
Yeah.
More.
I am
than ever.
definitely a late bloomer. I will admit it.
Yeah.
I'm from a family of late bloomers.
So this is a band, a flower band, for all you late bloomers out there, all you artists that
That's a flower blooming.
waited or had trauma in your life, and then were like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do art," despite what anyone says.
That's right.
This is music for you, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't not do it.
Yeah.
Just don't know what else.
I couldn't. I'm just not.
Incapable of it. Yeah, just. But this is a good one. This is good. I really like this song. This one is one of my favorites of yours.
Thank you. Yeah, it's the one where I was like, oh, maybe I can really do this. Because before I was kind of going like, oh, I've got this bit and I've got this bit. And I don't really feel a lot of ownership over a ton of the album because I felt so hesitant. Even though you have made me feel very secure in my contributions, that's when I kind of was like, because as I've mentioned before, I hadn't written songs in a long time. I was kind of on my down and outs, and this really revitalized me. And that was kind of a song where I was like, "Oh, I still got this in me."
You got it, yeah. And it's such a highlight. I love that song.
It's a great arrangement, and it's
Thank you.
and then the chords are kind of just the reverse of each other. The verse and the chorus are kind of flipped.
Yeah, there's shared.
But that's
chords
kind of
and
I
stuff,
do that sometimes where I'm trying to imitate a specific action in life. If I was writing a song about how tough the city is, I would be like, we need a beat like a jackhammer. You're supposed to make it sound like the
some
thing.
industrial.
Yeah. So that.
Or we could sample it with an 80s sampler.
But you try to make the chord progression.
And then you would turn it into ding dang, ding dang.
You can't. Every time we try to write a song, it accidentally nosedives into ding dang.
Nosedives into ding dang is our next album.
Yeah. Nose diving into ding dang.
Yeah.
It's just a picture of you and I upside down, plummeting to Brian Wilson's house.
Woo woo.
But
We can't use that. It's copyrighted.
Yeah, no shit. All our money going to Mark
Ding
Bolan.
fucking dang, man.
Ding.
Took all our money.
Yeah.
Ding darn it.
But no, that's another one that's so simple that is there much to say about it?
The ending was an addition to fit in with the last song.
Yeah, because you were like,
So
that
nice.
chord's a little like the chord I use.
Yeah,
for
because
slow
I was just
music.
noodling this. So I was,
And we were like, let's
Let's
steam
do
them
it.
together. So when we play it live, we actually
we got to do this.
we do
This one
this
song,
into
one
this.
big song.
Yeah, it's
essentially.
one big
Yeah.
song. So, which we hope to do more of. We like our sectioned off songs that turn into other songs that come back and loop around. But if you see us live, if we start playing Robot v. Crane, you'll know that Slow's News Day is coming right after.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah, that's when it really turned in. It's got a nice. The song is so well balanced. The production, I should say, because it starts off as a kind of more soft, folky song, and then it becomes a real rocker by the end. And I use those major chords for the chorus instead of using the diminished and the minor sevenths. I play it really straight to give it that like boldness. So when it comes out towards the end, you really get that message when the lyrics and the chorus change and the guitars drop out. So it's like...
Yeah, you were like, let's... Because we had just had the acoustic takes all, and we just did it the same way. And you're like, let's just...
Give it some air.
Like, late in the game, you're like, let's change one chord, and let's drop this out, and then...
Yeah.
Maybe we added like a little
and it's
bit
those
of, like,
kinds of things,
strummy,
if you're a musician, it's those kinds of things that keep you up at night, where I clearly was in bed at 10 and woke up and went,
no, I know,
if I just changed the one.
We just obsess about everything. And we had already given it to Doug, like Doug had everything.
Oh, really?
Like, so it was like sending him just additional tiny files to put in.
Yeah.
It was, but it, you know.
And then
I feel less bad about that.
And then the second verse has extra chords. It's like, again, I think I spent a lot of time going, switching the verses, because one's slower and more beautiful and more like musical, for a lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And the other's more strokesy. And I was like, oh, should it start beautiful and but ultimately I picked to have that. And it has this nice moment. There are a lot of really nice moments in
I
that
kind of share that. Because I think a lot of times, in music, it's always building. You want to build, but there is something to sort of flip that expectation on its head, where you go like, here's this big, explosive statement, and then let's find out what happens after the story.
Yeah,
I kind of like that too. And we did. I tried that for one of your other songs, and then we actually did flip it back.
Oh, really? Which one?
It's on Chordcoutrements. I don't know if we want to get to it.
Well, hint at it. We're almost done.
Step inside. I had the big moment sort of happen first. It's the first chorus.
Gotcha.
And you were like, no, we gotta make it build. And it's like, that's totally a valid thing to say. I'm just saying that's kind of
you
the
were
same.
You were like, let's try that idea.
I like that kind of thing. I like flipping it on its head a little bit.
Oh, have fun. Well, yeah, we're one song away. Maybe we could... What time is it? 12:39. I was like, let's just roll this into Slow News Day, but maybe not.
I mean, it almost feels like a mistake not to.
Let's do it. It's basically Friday.
Yeah, and as we said, we're performing them together. It's the same song.
It's the same song. So yeah, this was actually to set you up. This was one of the first ones that Sam showed me. And I immediately fell in love with it and had like an idea right in my head from the moment of hearing it. But
yeah, we were teaching. So we teach like band class.
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
And so I had a guitar on stage, and I was just noodling as you do, and I was like, oh, this is kind of something. This little boom 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 boom. And this is sort of anomalous on the album in that it's the music is entirely written by me.
Yeah.
And then the lyrics and the singing is just you, basically.
Yeah. So,
and we've since done like I guess there's Easy Cure. The end of that is like kind of the same thing. But it's the only full one like that.
Yeah, it's hard for me to not write songs, as we probably mentioned, without putting lyrics to it right away. So
yeah, and you had an idea. You're like, oh, can I use this? And I was like, yeah, you got an idea. Like, because I am music first. That's like my process is music first, and then I'll find what the song.
Yeah,
wants
when
to
you're
be about.
ready.
Whenever, I'll labor over them sometimes.
Yeah.
I rewrite lyrics, and then I look, what am I really trying to say with this? What is this music saying? And then. and then the last thing is the title, and you're like, what's the title? Easy Cure?
Yeah.
It's gonna take some time.
Yeah. What's the first word that comes to your head when you...
Yeah, exactly. And I've since done that a little bit.
Yeah, you've
but
done
I usually do change it. Because I
think you just become more confident. I think, for whatever reason, just as an artist and a writer of words, you
we forgot to
become more confident.
Was like that. Tennis court was like that.
Yeah,
it was like, what's the thing?
What's
a name? So it was the name first, and then it was like...
Yeah, and then it was like, okay, let's write around it. Because I initially wrote down, like, professions, essentially. And that was the profession that started out as the athlete.
Yes.
Yes.
That's right.
I was like, there's lawyers and bankers and,
reporters.
Reporters. Yeah, exactly. So.
Slow News Day being... I'll be semi-humorous because there's just been this giant...
and they don't know
Robot v. Crane fight, and there's this guy like, man, really slow
news day
today.
He's worried about his divorce, his girlfriend, or whatever, making salmon.
I am so bored today.
Yeah.
Tapping on my keyboard.
Which is probably true. Even if it's not a giant mech battle, it's probably true that a lot of us think our lives are very... It's easy to be trapped in your own world and not think about what's going on around you. That song is also partially inspired by one of my favorite books of all time, Makes Me Want to Holler, by Nathan McCall. Shout out to Nathan McCall. But he was a journalist, and he was a journalist. I guess I was into journalism.
That's what I know.
Yeah. I haven't read long passages.
No, you haven't.
But no, it's a very pretty song. It's another one of Sam's like loping songs where like the turnaround kind of has an interesting return, like an interesting point where this is
in the very classic way of building. It's the same theme, but then there's a harmony added.
Right. Yeah.
Then the bass line becomes a descending bass line, which has an air of finality to it. Great ending theme.
I am glad we finally get to say all this stuff. Because maybe people will hear it and go like, that's really cool, like how I do sometimes.
Yeah. For us music nerds who really want to know. But yeah, this one was just that little guitar up and down thing, and then I was probably just jamming for the middle sort of break, just trying to add something to it, and it came together really naturally.
It's very Canyon-esque. It's a great album closer because it's just screaming into the abyss. And then that's also why I don't know if you wrote Thick of It before or after. I was like, this needs to mirror. You need a song at the beginning, or you wrote Thick of It, and I was like, let's mirror these because I sing all of Slow News and you sing all of Thick of It, so that's why they're bookends. I can't be certain,
but I think I wrote Thick of It, and then I was very touched that you were like, this is the beginning.
It was. That was the rule.
I think it might have been you heard it and were like, this is the beginning. So very touched that.
It's a good song.
You like that one.
A lot of people like it. A lot of people are touched by it. So it's one of your like deceptively simple ones, and like it's even for you because a lot of times you write parts in 2 sections and have like trade outs and like different things. And
sometimes I'll have these like behemoths where I'm like, how did this become?
But that was
that one's like verse chorus.
Yeah, and you just kind of describe it as just letting it out, like it just came out of you. So it's one of those lucky occurrences.
Lucky cycles.
It's one of those lucky cycles.
I always imagine a lucky cycle being a brand of like motorbike.
Ooh, see, that's how we should actually make our money.
Yeah.
What you
get your lucky cycles here.
We gotta start selling your personal digital effects. This is the Sam store. This is the fart noise from Decay. Wow. What's that pedal called? Peaches and custard?
Prunes and custard.
A pedal that makes it sound like a little fart, but it totally works.
Yeah, it's I was like, I need like the gnarliest guitar sound for this. It's the prunes and custard into the JHS Cran, which is a pedal that I love, which really adds to the weird to it. And then it's just into like an overdrive, this orange burst overdrive I have, which is just
so now you know that the secret behind the riff.
If you want that tone, those are the three
you didn't
pedals
like,
you need.
but ended
there
up
might be a
loving.
compressor in there too. I don't remember, but
don't quote me.
If it is, it's the Keeley one. Everyone has it. You guys know.
I didn't know.
Eric,
I'm learning.
Industry standard Keeley compressor. Everyone has it. The blackface, everyone knows.
I'm very excited to learn all about guitar effects because it was just shocking.
Yeah, prunes and custard. I don't even know. The thing is about prunes and custard, I don't know how to describe what it does.
It goes.
I think it's called like an overtone modulator. I don't know. It's some weird thing. So, and the reason I got it because I'm a huge Wilco fan, and there was a video about the prunes and custard because I had already had the Crowther Hotcake overdrive, which is an overdrive that I love, and Crowther is a little company in New Zealand, and they only make it's this guy. He only makes 2 pedals. One of them is the Hotcake, and one of them is the prunes and custard.
Oh, nice!
And I was like, well, what's the prunes and custard? I gotta know this.
Pair, you gotta twin
exactly. And ironically, I would say at least I haven't tried it the other way around, but the prunes and custard into the hotcake doesn't sound that good. But maybe the other way they would sound good. Who knows?
I think a chef would say the same thing.
I think you're right. Do we put prunes and custard into this hotcake?
Yeah. No.
The guests they will revolt.
It's reverso.
But yeah, so I got this pedal, and one of the top comment was just like the name of a Wilco song.
Oh.
It was just like someone was just like, this is that sound.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've got to have it.
Yeah, thank God for YouTube comments. Something I
was like,
read.
oh my God. It's the solo to, I believe, a song called Hell is Chrome off of that's the album I gave you.
Waiting, A Ghost is Born.
A Ghost is Born. And it's just like
an album that Sam gave me a vinyl of for my birthday.
That's right.
Which I was very happy about. And then I waited 5 months and listened to it.
Oh, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. You give people art and then they'll...
Yeah.
It's got to be on your own terms.
So true. But yeah, so speaking of art that's on your own terms... Slow News Day closes an album that will very much be accessed on your own terms. Don't come in with any preconceptions, even though you already listened to it if you're here. But
we would hope.
The thing
there's
is,
like 2 people, and they're like, "What is this album?"
But yeah,
the fidelity increases between these videos is crazy.
Yeah, oh my God, I'm watching them grow. And it's exciting. But no, this is it's the hardest thing to do is recommend music to your friends. Mm-hmm. Like, I recommend music to, you or my roommate Torin, and like, I know it's good.
I think about this
the moment I put it on, I go,
I feel a little bad about when you first showed me your favorite Depeche Mode.
Because
I think I just started laughing.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the goofiest.
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
I don't mind Depeche Mode at all. It's definitely not something that I'm like going to put on for myself all the time. But
I love it. I can't stop.
And there's something undeniable about it too. They're unique. They're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
I'm pro.
But yeah,
But I was just like,
Which at this point in my life I'm used to, because it's kind of what you have to anticipate. And if music doesn't make you feel that way, it's not doing its job. If I listen to something I've heard 1,000,000 times before, I'd rather you laugh than go like, just go like, oh yeah. That's a chord.
What else is on?
Yeah, you've proven you can do it. No, they
I got it. There was a genuine reaction from that.
But yeah, so when you recommend Trick Flower, now that we're at the end of album 1,
mm-hmm.
We understand how hard it is to recommend music. Just sell it as the oddity it is. Be like, this is some weird fucking music.
This is pretty tricky.
But it pulls it off.
Flow.
That's what it is. It's tricky flow. We'll introduce the lexicon now that Sam made up. But yeah, it's a wacky, tricky flow. That's the genre. They'll go, what genre is it?
I've just thought of the name for our fans.
The Flowsters?
No, the Trick Flowerers.
Just the most syllables you can think of. We'll see if it catches on.
Or to make it more obvious, flowallowers.
Because
Because they're followers and they're flowers. You're welcome.
Oh, I get it.
Let's go on to the next thing.
What's best?
Last thing for this, we talked about the White Noise real quick because it ends on White Noise, the album White, and it's like the city streets. So there's a break in the middle, and it's me on the subway.
Ooh, I forgot about.
And then there's another, and then we have like a chorus or whatever, and at the end fades out, and then there's still this sound, and it's me leaving the subway. And it's just so lucky because and I don't know how easy it is to hear, but I can hear it at least. There's a guy. I get out of the subway and I'm just walk through, because it's like it's the end of the day. It's the end of my subway ride. That's the concept. And there's a guy who's telling his coworkers like, oh, have a good night. And then boom, just ends or something. And I was like, yes, that's it!
Nailed it!
Done!
Perfect, yeah. Well, gosh.
So it is truly the day in New York.
We're great at making synergistic albums. Except for Chordcoutrements, which was intentionally a splatter painting, a pollocking of our sounds. Yes. But we planned it that way.
Here's a bunch of songs for you. And so now that we're done with this little 9 real song plus 1 little interlude album...
Yeah.
Get ready for our 20-song pandemic double album.
Yeah, we're going to post this on Instagram and try to shoot some videos of us playing our songs in front of this very green screen. So
this very screen that hopefully doesn't look green. I'm wearing a green shirt. This is a rookie mistake.
Fuck. Well, now people will know.
I'm going to be floating around. I'm glad I put the sweater on later.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
I'm sure maybe because there's something
there's
around
a different
it you can block it
type
out.
of green.
We'll
figure it out.
There will be a green reflection on your chin. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, you can always tell the green. There's green screen lighting.